Hello, my name is Veronika Schoeb, and I'm working at the Department of Rehabilitation Science at Polytechnic University here in Hong Kong. And I was part of the both modules that I was doing, and the project that I'm going to present to you was something that I did for the assignment in teaching and learning qualitative research methods through a blended approach. In order for students to learn qualitative methods, some reading is important to understand concepts of qualitative methods such as ontology or epistemology, but there also needs to be a hands-on approach, a more experiential approach to qualitative data collection, transcription or analysis. And in addition to that, reflection is also very important for learning because reflexivity, which is the self-awareness of the own posture and assumptions, is one of the key quality criteria for qualitative research. The students should get preparation as well for their future research career. And we designed this learning innovation through a collaborative peer-assisted learning. The teaching context was quite particular in this course. Quite different from undergraduate research courses. This course had 21 students from different disciplines, as well as over 8 nationalities. They were more mature learners with a wealth of life and educational experience, but the classes took place in the evening from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. The intended learning outcomes for this learning innovation were multiple. The students would be able to understand the philosophical underpinnings of qualitative as well as quantitative research methods. They needed to perform an interview or observation to transcribe it and to initiate data analysis. But it was also intended that they learn how to self-direct their learning as well as reflect on their own learning. And then, last but not least, to communicate their experience and to evaluate the peer scientific posters. In terms of evaluation, I decided to use both quantitative measures as well as qualitative measures. And as you can see, some of it had 100% participation. For example, the graded online quiz, no wonder, there was 100% participation and the average score was 85%. However, the ungraded online quiz, meaning that it was on a self-learning activity online, had only half of the class participating and the average score was much lower. On the qualitative side, I actually used during the course a reflective diary that, again, the participation was not full. But I also used the written feedback with open-ended questions in the last class of the course, and I had everybody filling out and giving me comments. And then we had, after the course, we had a focus group with 5 participants. Actually, it was quite challenging because initially, one student said, it was very confusing and hard. But right now, at the end of the course, I think I've got a very basic idea of what qualitative research was. Another student said the theoretical foundation and philosophies behind is what they enjoyed most. When we looked at the collaborative learning and the variety of activities, this is really what the students enjoy the most. So they like the kind of group works, online or during the class, and the activities, because one student said the qualitative method is so boring to be learned the traditional way. Another student said, I appreciate the variety of learning activities. We have Kahoots, we have tests, we have groups, we have on-site fieldwork. Another point was that they felt like online learning would foster more an active learning approach. And as this is already written in the research literature, that they have actually the choice when to study and wherever they want to study. But they also had some of those learning experiences and supported by their peers that they felt like it changed completely the way. And they were a little bit scared. This student said, I am a bit scared of liking this approach so much that I may take it very seriously in my research career. So these were the moments that I felt like, I think this course, the way it was presented in an online approach and with activities in class, it really fostered a deeper learning experience. While online was very convenient, the teacher was also important. And during the focus group, they talked a lot about the teacher. One student said, for me, the teacher plays a very important role. I learned a lot from a teacher who is very knowledgeable and the teacher that can actually translate the knowledge to us. So when I look at what impact this new blended online course had on me as well as on my students, I can divide it in two. So on the teaching side, I really enjoyed the structure of the Learning Innovation Plan, to be really aware of what has to be done online, what can be done in the class setting, and how do they actually interact one and the other. But I also realized the importance of social presence. We know that interaction is important when we're working in the class, but how do we do that in an online setting, and how can we foster participation in an online environment? On the other side, I think for the students, what they enjoyed was the interaction both with peers and teachers, and that they had these eureka moments, the transformation of knowledge that really brings them to another place, which I really like. Now, as a final reflection, where having had this experience, I really think that an online teaching requires interaction as well. And I never realized how important discussion forums are to be monitored and to be kind of fostered in a way that students feel comfortable. So there is a socialization both of us teachers as well as of the students into how blended learning can be done effectively and efficiently. And as I already mentioned, the structural coherence between what is done online, what is done face-to-face, I think this needs to be clearly spelled out and thought and reflected upon. So I think this is what I would like to add. I really enjoyed the BOLT modules, both the number 1 and 2. The number 1 more to kind of understand and think about my own teaching. And then in the module 2 to trying to implement and try out new things to see whether it works or not. I think this was the first start, and it was definitely not the last. Thank you very much for listening.